Hello there, heroes. I'm the Orange Ranger, and would you take a look at this? It's a surprise edition of Orange Ranger Reacts. The New York Comic Convention was already shaping up to be a hotbed of Power Rangers news, as the trailer for the new Power Rangers film was set to debut there. However, something else was revealed first, and it's something I want to react to before I get to the trailer. Back in August, the Pan-European Game Information Board rated a game called Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Mega Battle for the PlayStation 4. That was all we had heard about the game until New York Comic Con. Bandai Namco has a playable demo of the game on the show floor, and in the classic style of public relations, when videos about the game started leaking out on the internet, they went ahead and confirmed the game and released a trailer. Power Rangers Mega Battle is in the action brawler genre of game. The best example for us Power Rangers fans of that kind of genre is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie for the Super Nintendo. Like that game, the Rangers can move in 3 dimensions around a battlefield and attack putties and monsters. The Rangers can morph, as seen in a video from the show floor, and also use weapons and special attacks. The game uses a cel-shaded art style which makes it look like a comic book. Also, there's a bit of a chibi influence. The Rangers have larger heads and smaller bodies, especially arms and legs. Overall, this is an easier, much less graphically intensive art style to use, but I think it looks really good. There will also be Megazord battles, of course, though I like this segment of the trailer that shows that sometimes the Rangers will have to deal with a stage where they're fighting with the giant monster before they summon their Zords. But oddly, it looks like the Rangers summon their Zords by activating their Morphers again, which is not something they did on the original show. However, it would seem that this game falls into an old trope for Zord fights in the Power Rangers video games, which is that Simon says move this or press that button mashing system. To me, the best way to work Zord fights into a Power Rangers video game is to do what they did in Power Rangers the Fighting Game. Just have it be a 1v1 two-dimensional fighting game. Or I mean, heck, you could even just change the sprites and make the Megazord the main character and change the perspective of the art and just use the same battle system the rest of the game does. I find myself really hoping there's more to the Megazord fights than what we saw in this trailer. One really nice touch is that the game seems to use actual voice clips from the show. Now, the ones we hear in the trailer are generic battle cry-outs and phrases that were used a lot on the show, so it remains to be seen if the game has voice talent for its original dialogue and who that might be. One thing that did make me wince just a little is that Trini is a character in the game, and they do use her battle cries from the show. I'm not exactly sure how that was handled, and I'm hoping that they'll tell us about that sometime soon. I just can't help but find it a little bit interesting that this game does seem to take inspiration from other older Power Rangers video games like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie. Why? I could really see them taking the MMPR SNES game or the movie game and just reskinning it to make it a downloadable title. And I think that would totally work. That could be a lot of fun. Update the graphics a little bit, insert the new actors obviously, but I think that could be a great way to draw attention to this film. Here's one little confusion for me in that arena though. I was talking about a video game for the Power Rangers movie, but this game clearly has nothing to do with the movie. The suits are the ones from the original show, the characters look and sound like they did on the original show, and making it most clear, this game is slated to come out in January of 2017, when the movie doesn't come out for another few months after that. So I find myself wondering why this game is being made. It seems like just a cheap little nostalgia trip, banking on that whole MMPR what's old is new again vibe. Now, that does not mean that I'm not excited for this game. I would love to get my hands on it. Note that I say I would love to instead of I am going to, because the game is currently slated to come out for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Steam, oddly foregoing the Wii U when graphically the game seems to have been made for that system. Oh well, maybe the game will come out on the NX when that console launches. Anyway, like I said, I am excited for this. It looks like a fun little time waster that'll take us back to those glory days of the early 90s. Now, I have seen other Power Rangers fans complaining about this trailer, saying the game's graphics look cartoony and the game looks too simple. I often think as Ranger fans we need to take a step back and remind ourselves that we are fans of a kids show, and a somewhat niche fan base at that. As much as I love Power Rangers and would love to see a Power Rangers game with AAA graphics and varied types of gameplay, I just don't think the overall gaming market will support a $60 Power Rangers game. We are still in a phase as Power Rangers fans where we've got to take whatever we can get. Do you guys realize that Dino Charge didn't get a video game? Not even on the 3DS. So this is the first Power Rangers video game we've gotten in a couple of years. As a fan base, we need to support it if it's good. We need to give it a real chance. That being said, I do have two minor complaints. The first of which is that lack of Wii U support I already mentioned. Listen, I understand that the last first-party Wii U title just came out and that system is in its swan song. But the NX is not going to be out by January, and really, would it be that hard to port this game over to the Wii U? To me, it seems like the perfect type of game to throw on the gamepad and let your kiddos play while you're watching TV. I do like that it's going to be on Steam, that's a nice touch, but I just wish the Wii U had been invited to the party. It's Morphin time. Second, and these are dangerous words for a Power Rangers fan to say, but is it just me, or is anybody else getting a little bit fatigued with all the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers nostalgia? Listen, it was a fun show, and it started a legacy that is still ongoing. But that show aired a long time ago, and it just feels like going backwards. I do understand that this is the Power Rangers that most people who aren't fans of the franchise think of and want because it tickles that nostalgia. But to me, it really just seems like there isn't that much more you can do with this story. It's a story that's already been told, and messing with that story can only bring you trouble. Notice, for example, how carefully Boom Studios is treading in inserting their comic storyline into the existing MMPR canon. I find myself hoping that this game can serve as something of a platform with DLC stories for other Ranger teams, maybe even giving you characters from those teams that you can swap into the core story. Let's 3-player our way through level 5 with 3 red T-Rex Rangers. However, you are never going to hear me complain too loudly after hearing the words New Power Rangers video game. And this game is actually getting a lot of early positive press from the gaming media at large, and that is the best thing we can possibly hope for. So that's going to wrap up this rather quick Orange Ranger Reacts video. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this game after seeing the trailer, and as always, may the power protect you. However, something else debuted at NYCC first, and it's something that I want to react to before I get to the trailer. That, number 1, I was ad-libbing all over the place. Number 2, the world exploded in the living room behind me. So we're just going to do that again. Bandai Namco has a playable demo of the game on the show floor, and in classic public back in August, it was earlier than now. And in classic public relations, son of a monkey, public relations, and in classic public relations style, back in August, the Pan-European starting to tilt a little bit. It kind of seems just like a cheap little nostalgia trip riding that But that show was on TV a long time ago, and it just doesn't seem like This is a story that's already been told, and notice how carefully Boom Studios is stepping in working their